Down to the vote. All 88 counties in Ohio opened the polls this morning, and quite a few people took advantage of the head start. We called around, and as of late this afternoon, here are the results of how many people turned out in several key counties. But the county with the greatest turnout is Cuyahoga, and that's where we find News Channel 5's Paul Kiska. And Paul, 200, well, actually more than 1,400 voters. Is that what you expected?
Well, Danita, there were 200 people in line here this morning at the Board of Elections in Cleveland and Cuyahoga County. 200 people in line when the doors opened at 8 o'clock this morning. From that point on, they averaged 200 voters an hour for a total as of 4 o'clock of more than 1,600 voters here in Cuyahoga County. And of course, the election still 35 days away.
I love the process of democracy, and for love of country, I like to vote.
35 days until Election Day, but by lunchtime today, 1,000 people had already cast a ballot in Cuyahoga County.
It was important for me to make sure that my vote was counted. I felt really inspired about this election. I wanted to make sure that, I set an example by being here today.
Many voters said early voting is a convenient way to dodge the hassle in long lines on Election Day.
Make sure it gets done in case voting day sneaks up on me and end up having something to do and would accidentally miss it.
Presidential elections are where we focus most of our political attention.
Justin Buechler, professor of political science at Case, says while early voting is more expensive for county governments because of the extra staffing, the payoff is a more efficient election day.
In Ohio in particular, 2004 had very long lines at the polling places. A lot of the voting machines were not very well distributed across the state, so there were people who had to wait in line sometimes 8 hours to vote. Adding early voting reduces the burden on polling places on the day of the election, which reduces the length of the lines.
But in this blitz of campaign ads and barrage of election email and phone calls, some voters just want to get it over with.
I made my decision a while ago, and I want to express my opinion as early as I want and to be done with.
Now take a look at this. This is quite interesting. This is a voter registration form, not a ballot, but nonetheless is a voter registration form. And some voters were complaining today, saying it was kind of hard to fill out. Here's why. Look in the yellow box. It reads, print your name, street address, city or village, month, day, and so on. You actually have to write over that, right inside the box, over the top of that, and some voters are concerned when they were finished, it wasn't very legible. They're worried if their vote will count when they go to the ballot box. But Board of Election officials saying so far today, although they got some complaints, they don't expect this to be an issue. Live from the Board of Elections, Paul Kiska, News Channel 5.